From Disney begging Ryan Reynolds for another film to setting up the stage for an AI uprising in the sequel, these are all the fresh new details on Free Guy 2. It's been 2 whole years since the original flick hit the screens in 2021, and now the star of the film, Ryan Reynolds himself, has spilled some beans about the possibility of a sequel. Reynolds talked about the idea of a follow-up to Free Guy in a recent interview.
I just adore working with Sean, and I hope that I get to make, as many movies as humanly possible, as many as I'm allowed to make. I hope they're with Sean.
But at the same time, also dropped a nugget of truth, explaining how every movie does not need a sequel. He believes that movies should stand on their own, proving their worth without relying on a sequel to make them legit. Now, both Reynolds and Sean Levy are totally down for a sequel, but they're not about to jump into it blindly. They want a killer script and a captivating story before they move forward, especially since the first was the most successful original movie of the whole pandemic era, raking in a whopping $331 million worldwide without any theatrical releases. Yep, you heard that right. With that kind of record-breaking success, it's no wonder that Disney's on their knees begging these guys for a sequel, with Levy revealing that he's received multiple calls asking if they were thinking of making one. The fact that Disney themselves are asking you to make a sequel for them, then that just proves how great of a flick the original was. But for now, it looks like Disney's gonna have to keep begging. Still, if a sequel was to happen, what can we expect from the story? Let me start off by refreshing your memory real quick. Ryan Reynolds plays this dude named Guy, who one day realizes he's just an NPC in a hit online video game called Free City. And if that existential crisis wasn't bad enough, Guy then also finds out that Free City's in major trouble, all because they're about to release the sequel to the game, meaning that they were going to be deleted from the game's servers. To stop this, he teams up with 2 programmers, Millie and Keys, played by Jodie Comer and Joe Keery, to save their virtual home and all the other NPCs. The first movie ends with a total win for the Free City crew.
Which server has the ocean and the rest of the bridge?
Well, if you make it across that bridge, show the whole world our build. That's the proof you do that, and when it's done.
Because they finally get to be aware and think for themselves. But the ending didn't really set up a direct path for a sequel, or any sneaky post-credit scenes either, despite all the Marvel cameos. Still, instead of being a direct follow-up, the sequel can fast-forward a few years instead. This would help explore how Guy and the other Free City characters evolved over time. Maybe even dive deeper into the whole question of are AIs alive, just like the first film did. And you know that Antoine guy, played by Taika Waititi? Well, he's bound to hold a grudge, and I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up again to cause more trouble, either for Millie in the real world or for Guy in the game world. But then again, it could be someone totally new out to sabotage the success of Free City. The sequel could also go down the meta route, poking fun at the whole sequel and intellectual property culture, like how the first one roasted the lack of creativity in the industry. Levy even has an idea for a potential topic based on one of Antoine's jokes from the film, calling it Free Guy 2 Albuquerque Boiled Turkey. Who knew Taika's improv skills would end up being so important for the future of the film? But that's only if the film does get a sequel. Who knows, maybe Reynolds and Levy are using some complex reverse psychology on us, making us think that a sequel isn't on their radar while they work on it in secret. If that turns out to be the case, fingers crossed, but if it does, when can we expect the film to come out? Well, since Disney hasn't given the official green light for a sequel yet, I don't have a release date to mark on your calendars. But hey, if it does happen, you'll have to be a little patient. You see, Reynolds is keeping himself busy trying to kickstart Deadpool 3, and every Marvel fanboy's been waiting for that. I mean, with Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, who wouldn't be pumped?
Alive.
Yeah.
After Logan.
Logan takes place in 2029, totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan, not touching that.
So even if Free Guy 2 gets the green light, the earliest you'd see it begin filming would be in 2023, which means that you'll probably see a release sometime in 2024. And hey, let's not forget that Jodie's also got a jam-packed schedule, so don't hold your breath for a surprise announcement anytime soon. And obviously not filming means no trailer footage either, so don't go clicking on any links you see. But while you wait for any juicy sequel updates, you can always treat yourself to the original Free Guy by hitting that replay button. Aside from the whens and wheres, though, there's another question that still needs to be answered, and that's who we can expect to see in a potential sequel. If we're lucky enough to get one, you better believe that Reynolds and Comer will be back in action as our beloved characters Guy and Millie, aka Molotov Girl. And guess what? They won't be alone, bringing along the whole gang, making the sequel just as enjoyable as the first flick. We'll likely have Joe Keery as Keys, Lil Rel Howery as Buddy, Utkarsh Ambudkar as Mouser, and fingers crossed, Taika Waititi reprising his role as the notorious Antoine.
I worked on him myself. He's perfect. Drop in, dude, now.
They range from popular streamers and content creators from the gaming community to full-blown A-list celebrities. I mean, Chris Evans' cameo after Guy used Captain America's shield to block dude's hit. A masterclass in guest appearances, adding something meaningful to the film instead of just being there for the sake of being there. A lot of films can learn from this. So if a sequel happens, you might be in for another star-studded treat. With all the new players wanting to explore the new and improved Free City, anyone can drop by for a quick appearance. And guess what? Not only would it be fun to watch, but it perfectly represents the ever-evolving gaming culture we live in. But hey, let's not forget that the sequel could also explore the darker side of gaming culture, ranging from things such as the shady realms of hacking and game piracy, where things could potentially get pretty intense and mysterious. Though, to be honest, it would be a dope intro to a storyline where some rogue hackers upload a virus into the game, causing Guy and the crew to prevent it from spreading inside the game, while the real-life members try and fix it from the outside. Sounds like the plot of a Black Mirror episode, doesn't it? I should write that down. Plus, it would make sense considering the theme of the first film. It'd help go deeper into the question of AI sentience, exploring the moral and ethical implications of AI life, and taking a turn to the philosophical. Since all the NPCs are now aware they're inside a game, the way they interact with player characters would be completely different, either viewing them as welcome guests or maybe even annoying pests. AI versus human flicks are always fun to watch, and who knows? Maybe this time the NPCs will somehow invade and cause chaos in the real world, taking revenge for all those years of video game violence. I'm sold already. The dangers of AI are a hot topic nowadays anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it get addressed in some way at least. So, from setting up the stage for an AI uprising in the sequel, to Disney begging Ryan Reynolds to make another film, those were all the fresh new details on Free Guy 2.